Hi, Karina here, your Lucid Living Coach. Just getting set up here. How are you guys? It's definitely been a crazy week. A lot of transformation, a lot of changes, a lot of leveling up. So I'm just going to give a little time for people to join in. Because there are some really important transits going on this week and for the next couple weeks. I'd even say this month. April was probably one of the most challenging months of the year astrologically. And everything from here on out should be a little bit easier, with that being said. Because now we're starting to get more wisdom to the world, and we're starting to learn how to navigate this energy more. Okay. All right. So I'd like to first off say that today is the beginning of a Venus square Neptune. And this is going to be playing out for the rest of May because Venus is preparing for her retrograde, as well as Jupiter and Saturn. Pluto is the only planet that's retrograde right now. And this is the planet of transformation, transmutation. It is the planet of death and rebirth. So with this being the planet that's starting out this retrograde season, it is highlighting a lot of our fears. And it's also highlighting the scary part of transformation, which is the pain and the change and the death aspect of it. Now, we're starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel as we're moving through this weekend. And, oh, I was in the play with him. Once Jason just walked by. How cool is that? So I just want to start off with just expressing that, and everyone is kind of going through this transformation. The last couple days have been really intense energies, and it's going to start lighting up and slowing down. Things have been moving a little too fast, and I have noticed a lot of car accidents out there. And that's because all the planets were flying forward except for Pluto. Well, now all the planets are going to start slowing way down this week and start their retrograde next week, Mother's Day week. All right. So when are these North nodes changing? Well, the North node has been in Cancer for the last 18 months. And the South node is the opposite in Capricorn. Now, with this 29-degree aspect of Cancer and Capricorn, it's a crucial degree energy. It's very, very intense. There is a very dreamy type delusion, or the feeling, you could be feeling like trapped. This is Cancer at 29 degrees is emotion. It's emotional. It's like your internal, like how you're seeing the world, because everyone has their own perception, right? And the 29th degree of Capricorn it's really highlighting our legacy in the world and our careers. And we're trying to balance these two aspects and like literally wrapping up the last 18 months. What have we learned from how we feel about our nurturing ourselves at home, and also trying to wear the hat of providing our resources for ourselves, right? So we're moving from Cancer to Gemini, and Gemini is at 0 degrees, and this is switching over on May 4th. So that's going to be happening around 10:30 p.m. And a 29-degree aspect and a 0-degree aspect is very different. I'm live, Mom. It is very different. And the 0-degree aspect is a new beginning. It's a new start to something very fresh and new. And this is setting the stage for the next 18 months while this is cycling through. So with the North Node change into Gemini, it's about hands-on in the community, short distance traveling, and really understanding and knowing the information that we're receiving, and to experience the things for our own self. Now, the South Node in Sagittarius is moving away from being away from our communities and being more isolated in our beliefs and in our education and making assumptions based on just that. And that is without, like, making an assumption without actually being in the physical world and experiencing it for oneself is very important, because we are in this time of isolation where we're in our houses. All the reality that we're really seeing is through the screen. This could be TV, this could be social media, and there's so much information out there we can't gauge as to what is true and what is being blown out of proportion or manipulated in certain ways. So, for example, let's say I assume that the things I hear and I see on the screen is the reality, but I never go out to see for myself in the real world. So let's say I hear through the grapevine that the grocery store in town is closed, and I have some food, some things that I need to get because I don't have any food in my house, right? Well, Sagittarius would research on the internet and look up, okay, is the grocery store closed? And if it says closed, he won't go. But we all know that sometimes they don't update the times on the computer, on Yelp. This has happened to me plenty of times. Well, Gemini, this is where we're heading for the next 18 months, would actually drive to the store to see if it's open. Now, let's say it's open and on the internet it's closed. Sagittarius would end up starving for the night and Gemini would be eating, right? So that's just a little example of this Gemini energy and this Sagittarius energy. So we want to move towards our own investigations and our hands-on experiences than just going off of what we believe while we're at our house and what we're seeing from the inside looking out. So, sorry, I got off track here. The inside looking out. So we really want to move where we're on the outside looking inward to our own beliefs as we get to the real information. Our belief systems are shifting and changing, and we will naturally want to hold on tight to what we have been taught and what we believe to be true. It's just a natural way in psychology. It's called cognitive dissonance, where something that you've believed for so long has actually been proven to not be true, but you hold on to it because of your ego, and your ego always wants to be right. So this is a time of being flexible and being open to what new information is coming in, and take it into account. Instead, we want to be open to what may be different or what beliefs are changing through our new experiences and what we're learning through connecting with our communities and what we are learning in the new world. Because we're shifting out of an old paradigm into a new paradigm. And all of our beliefs, structures, and systems are not the same in the new world. They work very differently here. Also, I'd like to point out, hi, Christina, thanks for joining. I would like to point out that this Venus and Mercury are having a mutual reception. And what that means is the ruler of Mercury is Gemini, and Venus is in Gemini, and the ruler of Venus is Taurus, and Mercury is in Taurus. So with that being said, Mercury is in Taurus and Venus is in Gemini, and they're communicating with one another and asking each other for assistance on our values and the way that we communicate information. Gemini is mutable, so our values are changing. Taurus is fixed, which is starting to help Mercury integrate these new values of self-reliance and manifesting stability in our own lives. We're taking control. So we're not looking outside of ourselves, but now we're looking inside of ourselves for the stability that we desire. So with Venus and Gemini square Neptune all month, this could be a very creative, free, it's a very mutable, fun, and playful energy. You could get swept away, however, in the idea of someone, okay? And this could cloud our reality of the truth. So it's like being at a party and you've been drinking and you meet someone and you're really interested in them and maybe you make out or whatever. And then the next day you sober up and you're excited to see them again. And then you're like, WTF, what was I thinking? Like, this is not what I thought it was. So really be careful with the toxicity of this transit as we're rethinking our relationships, finances, and what you want going forward with a new set of eyes. So I just have a couple more things I wanted to point out for this month. And with these nodes moving into Gemini, Gemini is the twins, and this is reawakening our divine partnerships. And it's going to be bringing in a wave of new twin flame unions. So we're walking through this portal this weekend as the nodes begin to change from Cancer and Capricorn to Gemini and Sagittarius. And with the twins, I see two pillars, and they're masculine and feminine energy. And we're walking through and we're balancing these two aspects of ourself within ourself. So the twin flames, this is about soul and personality communicating with our higher self and our lower self. So our lower self is our avatar and our higher self is our connection with God. Okay, so we're balancing these two aspects of ourselves. So the relating of these pairs of opposites and building of this balance and this bridge between our soul and our personality. That's really important for this next 18-month cycle. So we're needing to build this heartfelt service for humanity and study and meditation on what God wants to manifest in our lives and what we want, right? So it's like, it can't just be all of what we want, our desire, our avatars, but we also have to connect with our higher self to ask what it is that we're supposed to be doing. So really opening yourself to be divinely guided as to how you're going to be of service to the collective during this next 18-month cycle. So it's about quieting our lower selves and really hearing our higher self speak. Okay, so this is really thinking with our heart and feeling with our mind. So with that being said, I'm going to wrap up. I'm going to go on a nice little walk, get some exercise, get some fresh air, kind of shed this old skin, because we're all in this together. We're all in this we're coming out of the cocoon and we're figuring out what we are in this new chapter of our life. So with that being said, I wish you guys a beautiful Sunday fun day, and I will see you on the other side. Peace out, y'all. Lucid Living Coach. I always have